What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours. Thank you so much for joining me. Tie-Dye Digital says it's party time. That's right. Let's do it. Let's get this party started. I hope everybody's doing well. We've got some fall weather here in San Diego. Woke up to it raining. It's been raining. I don't know. We've had several days of rain here over the last couple of weeks, which is unusual, and it's absolutely fantastic. We'll take it anytime we can get some weather. We'll take it here. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you so much for being here. This is Office Hours. I am Mike Cooch with leverage.com and servicesthatscale.com. These calls are all about answering your questions or attempting to answer your questions anyway. Doing anything that I can to help you, maybe get you unstuck on something. And, if there's anything that I can answer for you, we're going to give it a shot. And of course, I don't have the answer to everything, but I will give it my best go. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Welcome. Good morning. Tie-Dye Digital, Philip, James, John. Hello. Welcome. Let's see here. I'm going to post real quick the invite if anybody wants to join me on camera. Okay, if you want to join me on camera, then I've just posted a link there. When you click on that, it's going to take you backstage here. I'll see you here. And then I can put you on stage whenever you're ready. You're going to have your camera on, your microphone on, all that good stuff. So just heads up. And that link should be available to you in the comments. Hello, Cave Media. Welcome. Tie-Dye Digital says, why just YouTube today? Good question. I am experimenting. Like I always suggest that you guys experiment all the time. Bryce, I see you there, my man, backstage. Thank you so much. We'll let you on here in just one moment. Yeah, I'm always experimenting. And one of the things that I want to experiment with, or one of the things that I'm very focused on is YouTube. I've never put any energy into YouTube until just very recently. And I realized what a big mistake. Oh, that's Dorn. Awesome. What a big mistake that is. And I am jumping into it with both feet and going to do my best to make up for lost time. And so one of the things that I just want to see is how just doing this on YouTube will potentially impact, the attention that the videos get, growth of the account, things like that, rather than dispersing the audience between YouTube and Facebook. So just to test, don't know if we'll stay this way. We'll go back to having it on YouTube and Facebook, whatever, we'll see. I do like that on YouTube, I can post comments to you directly here inside of the live stream tool, where I can't do that on Facebook. I have to actually go to the post on Facebook and put comments there if I want to respond to you. So this is it's one of the nice features of YouTube to be able to do that. So, but yeah, just always experimenting. I'm actually investing in right now. It's so funny. I've gone just down this rabbit hole since I went to Vid Summit up in Los Angeles recently. And, it's another just kind of lesson learned here before we get on to some Q&A. I think that when you're interested in something, it pays to just like throw yourself into it for a period of time, right? And then you can decide kind of what you want to do from there. But I think so many of us, we have something kind of pulling at us, a direction pulling at us. Hey, I think I should be in YouTube. I should be doing video marketing. I'm interested in cryptocurrency, whatever it is. And we, maybe hesitate a little bit in terms of, going after, learning about something new, or, we just take our time with it. And sometimes in entrepreneurship land, that can mean that you miss out on opportunities, right? Because things move so fast that sometimes, slow rolling it a little bit can be a bad idea. So for me, one of my approaches, yes, and Dorn says it's so much to do and it's easy to lose focus. And I 100% agree with that statement. I think that all of us as entrepreneurs should do our very best. And I do this during my planning process every year and every few months to make sure that I've identified the major strategic themes that I'm focused on as an entrepreneur. Okay, so I know for me, major strategic theme is really built all around what I call the Arrow business model: audience, relationship, offers. How do I grow my audience as big and as broad as I can? How do I develop better relationships with that audience, right? It's not just a list, it's human beings, right? And human beings we can have conversations with and do events with and talk to and things like that. So how do I deepen that relationship with them? And then, when you do those two things successfully, I think the offers part actually comes easy. And that is, that's a big concept that is relatively new in today's world, that if you build up your influence with an audience, then you can, use that, of course, Dorn, give me credit if you can, but no, go for it. But, if you look at somebody like a Gary Vee or The Rock on the entertainment side or whatever it is, what's really different in today's world is that your personal brand can be the thing that you develop first and most, so that you actually have the ability to drive audience and attention from your personal brand to the various projects that you're working on. Could be companies, products, offers, whatever it is, that then those brands are portable, right? I mean, I've built and sold, businesses. I've built and shut down businesses. I've built and run businesses for years. Those brands sometimes come and go. And so building all of your attention around that one brand seems to me to be potentially a strategic mistake. If you're interested in building your personal brand too, not everybody is, and it's not that you have to, but I'm willing to do that, absolutely. And so I realized, if I can start building that personal brand and focusing on that, and then having my brands for my businesses be kind of, subservient to that personal brand, it gives me the ability to drive attention in the offers portion of that Arrow formula to whatever I want to, which will change over time, right? So that Arrow model is the key theme for me driving everything. It's everything that I'm doing. The Arrow model is the key thing driving that. Now, I have, themes within that. Video is a major one, which is why I'm upgrading all my equipment. I just spent a small fortune on stuff that I don't even know what the heck it is, but all my video buddies tell me I have to have it. So I'm ordering all kinds of stuff. And then audiences. Where can I build audiences? And then a major part of what I believe is going to just dramatically transform the opportunities around that whole Arrow model in the years ahead is cryptocurrency, but blockchain, really, and everything happening on the blockchain. So that's a major theme for me. So all getting back around to why I went to this conference and Vid Summit, what I encourage you guys to do is when you've identified those major themes and you've said, hey, I need to go deep on those, commit and go deep. I got the Vid Summit ticket because I was just like, man, I'm just going to go surround myself with people who are, making money on YouTube and know this stuff. And it was a very, very eye-opening and kind of mind-expanding experience. And I'll be doing the same here very soon with, crypto and blockchain conferences and stuff like that. Just go and, jump in and go for it. So I encourage all of you, to do the same. And yes, that has to be balanced with the focus of these are the major themes that I'm concentrating on, and I have a longer term commitment to those things. Otherwise, of course, in today's entrepreneurial ADD world, we could be all over the place, which will be a disaster. I'm going to answer a couple quick questions here, and then Bryce will bring you on here. So John says, would like me to go, hey, John, welcome. I've seen you in the Facebook group. It's awesome. I love you're in there getting after it. Says, would like to go over the best and most efficient ways to grow Instagram followers. What would you outsource? That's a good question. Okay. There's a two-part question in there. So let's address both. I think that the best way to grow Instagram followers is generally, and then I'll talk specifically, have a clear theme for your content, a clear audience that you're targeting, and have a consistent posting schedule. Okay, those are the majors, and that's just kind of the foundational building blocks. And honestly, that goes for building audience on any platform. You need to know who your audience is, what are the key themes, messages that you're trying to communicate to that audience and that you want to have your brand known for, and then consistent content. You just got to feed the machine, right? So those are fundamentals no matter what platform you're looking at. On Instagram specifically, well, and actually I would say, before I speak Instagram specifically, I would say then generally on any platform, there is some sort of algorithm driving how content gets viewed on that platform. Okay, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whoever it is, they've all got some sort of algorithm so that they can't possibly just show every piece of content to every person that's a subscriber. So what you have to do then is look at, in the current state of that platform, what is the reality of how that algorithm is potentially prioritizing, right? Prioritizing different formats, different types of content and stuff like that. So if you learn to think along those 4 things, really, I think you can go build an audience anywhere and generally be successful. To be really successful, then it's that last part. And of course, there's magic and creativity in how you create your content, but I'm no expert in that. I can't speak to that. I'm not any better at creating content than anybody else, and a lot worse than a lot of people. But the understanding the algorithm at that period of time. Right now with Instagram, it's very heavily video focused. Okay, so if you can, and I say if, because if you're not going to do video consistently, then don't go, oh well, Instagram is dead for me. Then it's not dead for you. It's just you're not going to get that ultra fast algorithmic growth that you could get from somebody else, who will do video consistently. But right now, Instagram has made it very clear that they're prioritizing Reels, the short form content, that it's competitive to TikTok. TikTok was stealing so much audience and so much attention that they had to respond, and they have. And that's what Reels are all about on Instagram. And then they just recently made the announcement, because they have IGTV, Reels, and you can do video in the feed. They have made the announcement that they're actually going to combine all of that into essentially video. Because right now it's kind of confusing as to where you should spend your time creating content and all that good stuff on Instagram from a video perspective, because there are 3 different places you can put it, and actually 4, because you can put it on the stories as well. So they're going to combine all that into video. So if you can do video and do it consistently, that's going to give you the fastest growth. But John and everybody else, posting consistently, posting quality content, knowing your audience, all that good stuff, engaging with your audience on the platform. So treating it like a community, commenting, liking when other people comment on your posts, responding to their comments. Okay, it is a social platform. It's meant to be social. A lot of us have lost touch on that because we just look at it as a marketing vehicle. That's a big mistake. It is a community. Facebook is a community. But Instagram is really, and particularly John, on a local basis, it's a community. I mean, I have connected with everybody in San Diego via Instagram. That's the way it happens locally. Okay. It is a very, very social platform. So you got to be in there engaging with people. You got to treat it like I'm building my own personal networking group on Instagram here locally, and I'm going to run into these people. I'm going to see them out at the restaurants and and stuff like that, and at business events. And so you got to treat them like human beings and engage with them on here, or else when you see them in real life, it's not going to go as well, right? So long answer to that, John, but I want to finish it up by saying that giveaway contests on Instagram are an absolute proven easy way to grow your account like crazy. Not every giveaway will grow it like crazy, but if you do something do something that people are going to find really attractive. Like you'll see, we're going to be giving away tickets to a variety of different events here in San Diego pretty quickly on my There San Diego feed. I'll be doing some giveaways for restaurants and bars that are hot right now. So that will juice our account like crazy. So that's an absolutely easy, proven thing that everybody can do. Okay. Let's see here. The Authority Accelerators, people are asking about Nick and Tom, their offer that I promoted today. And yes, that is along with David Sprague. Yeah, so that is just a simple, clever little reputation widget. You guys have all seen like those sites where you go and the little reviews pop up while you're evaluating a product or whatever, saying this has, Bryce just ordered this and gave it a 5-star review or whatever. So it's a review widget like that you can easily put on a website so that they can start collecting reviews and posting those reviews while people are on their site. But it's essentially designed for local businesses, which is clever. And they've just got a way of selling it and presenting it to make it a nice, easy upfront sale. You can either do a free trial, you can do a recurring monthly, you can do a, pay annual upfront for a big discount. It's software, so it's essentially 100% margin to you. It's a nice offer. If it's a good fit for your business, I think it's a great offer, and those guys are going to stand, behind it 100%. You can count on that. But if it's not a good fit for your business, move on. Okay, no need to be distracted. Let's see here. If that's Dave, that is not my expectation with that. If you find that that's the expectation with that, definitely let me know. I'm happy to reach out and yell at somebody. Let's see here. Convertible says, Mike, what do you recommend as really good offers to make to consumers in exchange for reviews? We're running a customer appreciation giveaway, $100 Amazon gift card. Yeah, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I have not done any sort of anything in exchange for reviews in years. When I had my e-commerce business and I was focused on that, I did something very similar to what you're talking about. I think it was an Amazon gift card or something like that. But I have not done anything like that personally in a long time. So I can't really say. I think it depends on what the business is, though. I think the nature of the business, and because if you're just running a restaurant locally, just offering somebody, hey, we love your thoughts on Yelp, after they had a good dinner, and in exchange, we'd love to give you a coupon for, free dessert of your choice or a glass of wine the next time you're in or something like that. That'll get you a ton of reviews. So if you train the wait staff to just make that offer at the end of a meal where people had a good time and it's going to be a positive review, just something simple like that will work really well. So I think it really depends on the nature of the business. Again, I haven't done that in a long time, but that's what I would really think through is what is the nature of the business and what incentives can I put in place that make sense. Bryce, wave your hand if you're ready to come on board. Awesome. Let's do it.
Hi, Mike. Hey, thank you for having me. It's really nice. I have a question actually. I'm going through all of your courses at the moment, and awesome. It's really a lot. Like it's a bit overwhelming at the beginning, but it's really nice content. And I have a question because actually I want to focus on the fitness industry in France, but yet I'm not completely done with defining my core offer and so on. So I'm still watching all of your videos. But an opportunity presented itself with a restaurant owner, so it's not my niche, but I thought, okay, I have no clients yet, so maybe that could be kind of good training, at least, whether I close or not. I mean, at least it would be a good experience. And he is based in Morocco, so North Africa, but I spoke with Twilio, and I cannot open a phone number for him there. So all of the services that I was planning to propose, like SMS-based services, it's not possible. So I was wondering, I have a few ideas still to propose to him, and I was wondering what you think about it. So first, he has a kind of a big Instagram account with 20,000 followers, so it's not bad. And I thought we could make an offer in here, so it would be free basically, no need for ad spend at least. So he has a big audience already. So to bring people in, like lead generation kind of campaign, I don't know, like something free or something like that. I wanted to offer also like birthday campaigns, but it wouldn't be with SMS, but only with email in that case. And he has a kind of a beautiful website, but it's not working at the moment. So it presents really well, but when you click on everything, it just won't. Nothing will happen. So you have to right click, opening a new tab, and then it works. So it's not really. Yeah, I think it's losing some traffic. So I think the best offer would even be to propose a website, but I don't know nothing about website. I know there are some templates in the snapshots and Go High Level and so on, but yeah, I think his website is really good like it is. It should just be repaired, you know. So and so I'm not quite sure if I should talk about that. I have a meeting with him tomorrow, so like a consultation or strategy call or whatever it's called. I don't know. And yeah, I'm really excited about the meeting, but I'm also a bit lost. I'm not sure what I have to offer or to propose, and so I wanted your opinion about it.
Cool. Awesome. I'm gonna mute quick here, just to minimize background noise while I'm talking here. So good. Thank you, Bryce, for coming on board and sharing the experience with us. So there's a couple of things here that are worth talking about. So one is, Bryce wants to be focused on this niche, but an opportunity has fallen into his lap, and so he's considering, going and working on this in another niche. So my first response to that is, danger, warning signs, right? Because what's easy to happen, and you can already hear what's happening, is you're going to start spending a good amount of time on this, and that can be just fine as long as hey, here's what I'm really trying to get out of this is, I'm trying to learn. I'm going to focus on delivering a really good service to this person. I have more time on my hands than I know what to do with right now. And so I just need to get something going and start learning what it's like to actually work with a customer on this. Then that can be okay. That can be okay, right? I mean, like I said, if you literally, it's like, hey, I'm just sitting around twiddling my thumbs, then that might not be a bad idea, okay? The reason I say danger, and warning is that it's very easy to start spending too much time on it, go down the rabbit hole, and the next thing you know, you are not putting in that same energy into the market that you want to go into, and you're not finalizing that offer. And now, I mean, I don't know, we can talk about this next, but what exactly it is that you think you may want to offer in the fitness space that's taking you a while to finalize. But, my response is, whatever it is that's taking you a while, I would think that if you put your head down and just said, hey, I'm going to set a 2-week deadline on this max, and 2 weeks from now, I'm going to roll out into the market with V1. And, just because you rolled out into the market with it doesn't mean that's what you're going to be doing 3 months from now or 6 months from now. You can always adapt and change as you're out there learning. But I would rather you, spend that time and energy getting those services figured out and saying, here's my plan of attack on the niche that I want to go into, and going. You'll probably find that first customer to start working with and experimenting with very quickly if you just go into it with a full head of steam. And in particular, if you just say, hey, I just want to get somebody to replace what I was thinking about doing with that restaurant so I can start learning, go to your target market and just say, hey, look, either I'm willing to do this for free for the first 2 months for feedback or at a big discount or whatever it is. If you do that and you talk to enough people, you're going to get somebody that says yes pretty darn quickly. And so I would really prefer that that's the route that you go down. And again, I don't know the specifics of your situation as to, maybe there's something I'm just not thinking of that you couldn't do that. And so you need to go down the restaurant route, but I would definitely do everything you could to just say, hey, no, I'm going to just focus on my niche and go for it. So let me unmute you here, and then you can respond to that.
Yeah, okay. No, thank you for your answer. That's kind of what I was expecting, because I heard you talk about that in another video. So I know that you're rather a fan of niching down and focusing on one. So I would expect that. But the thing is, I settled the appointment for tomorrow with him already. So I don't want to let him down. You know, I think it's not really professional. So I think I have the meeting, but maybe propose some kind of just a foot in the door service, maybe the chat widget or something, and maybe that's it. But as you say, I think you're right. I should focus on the other industry I want to niche in. So.
Excuse me, I have myself muted. So let me now just kind of respond to a couple of things there. So one, I like it. Take the meeting. Add value in the meeting. Do your very best to say, hey, here are some things that I've discovered about your website, about blah, 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 that I think are opportunities for you that, you should jump on right away. They're going to help your business. And maybe there's some automated foot in the door service, like you said, like a chat widget, something like that. That's not really going to take your time once it's set up. That could be, a good opportunity for you. But then, at the end of the call, there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, hey, I hope that you got a lot of value out of this, and I can see some good opportunities for you. To be honest, though, I don't think it's a good fit for me to be the person to help you. And, so I would recommend that you contact and maybe even, try and find somebody that's focused on the restaurant space that you could introduce them to or something like that and get a referral fee. But, there's nothing wrong with, at the end of that call, bowing out. If you talk to 50 businesses over the next few months, there should be at least 20 of those probably that you do bow out at the end of the call, because they're just not, you realize you're not a good fit for them. They're not a good fit for you. So nothing wrong with that. I like, though, get on the call, deliver value, do your best. And then if there is, like you said, if there's some automated, kind of foot in the door service that you could offer, then, that's good. I think, though, that yes, going back and focusing on here's where I really want to be doing business. Here's where my interests are. Here's where my passion is. And I want to just wrap this up with a super important point. You said, hey, Mike, I know that you're a fan of focusing on a niche. I'm a fan of focusing, but here's the deal: is with small businesses, if you're going to build a healthy business, you really don't have a choice but to focus in some material way. So that could be an industry niche. It could be, I'm only focused on restaurants and I'm creating solutions for restaurants. But it could be, I am just the podcast editor. I'm the absolute best, most efficient podcast editing service. And that could be across a bunch of industries. All kinds of industries create podcasts. So that's what I call a functional focus. You're focusing on a functional aspect of the marketing. If you're selling to small businesses, you've got to do something. You have to be so efficient in your service delivery, so efficient in your sales process that you can make the pricing structure of selling to small businesses, which is low price points and pressure on those price points, work and still have enough margin for you to build something that's worth all this time and effort, right? And so the biggest mistake that people make in selling to small businesses, and this sounds counterintuitive, but the biggest mistake that people make is reacting to opportunities. Okay, when you react to an opportunity, you are by definition going outside of your process, outside of your structure. Somebody new came along and said they'd give me money if I would do X, Y, and Z. There's customer demand for it. There's somebody with money. And so it seems like, well, hey, I'm an entrepreneur trying to make money. That should be the natural thing to go do. But you're being pulled out of your process. Whereas the right way to sell to small businesses is you've got to define, here's what I offer. And now it's your job to just go out and find the small businesses that lines up with. It's no longer about changing your offer. If you're changing your offer from customer to customer, you're dead in the water. You've got to think of it like a product. I sell these glasses. Now I need to go find all the businesses that will put these glasses up on a shelf for me and sell them to their consumers. You need to decide, here are my packages, and I go out and I find the customers for those packages, and that becomes 100% your job. Otherwise you're in big trouble. It's just the reality of dealing with small businesses. So I hope that helps you. And I want to say one more thing to wrap that up. I'm not saying, of course, not to respond to the market demands. Of course, if you're over the course of 3 months, you're having good conversations with 100 different businesses in your market, and they're all saying, hey, Bryce, we really need you to do this. We've got this problem and we want to pay for it. And that's not currently part of your packages. Well, every 3 months is probably a decent time frame in a quarterly review process to sit down and go, okay, what is the market telling us? What are we hearing consistently that maybe we need to adapt to? And do we want to adjust our service packages to that? If you're doing it though, every customer that comes along or every week, it's like, hey, let's throw something else, up on our website and sell that now, you're in big trouble. You got to just put a stake in the ground and say, this is what I'm doing to serve this market. And then, you learn and adapt, but the adaptation should come at a slower pace. All right.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Bryce. Anybody else that wants to jump on the call here? Let me post the link again, just so you know, you can jump on the call just like Bryce did. We can show your sunshiny face and hear your voice and have a conversation. Let's see here. Yeah, so Sherry Benelli made a really good point on that, trading anything for reviews type of thing. Yeah, depending on where you're doing that too, you got to keep in mind that is against terms of service. So like Amazon, it's a big no-no. Most businesses really try and frown upon that because obviously because of all of the bot, reviews that are out there. Let's see here. Vanessa says, should I focus on building personal brand on Instagram and then build out an agency or niche account? I have 1,600 followers on my personal brand page, but don't post consistently. Not sure what to focus on. Great question, Vanessa. So for anybody who bothers paying attention, my Instagram for business for the last year has been Instagram /get leverage, GET_LVRG. Okay. That is terrible, but I couldn't get leverage. I couldn't just get LVRG, and I couldn't get leverage LEVERAGE. I really like the leverage brand LVRG. I like that it's short. I like that it's a handful of letters. If you don't understand that LVRG means leverage, there's a lot of people that don't get it. They don't see it and go, oh, that means something. What does it mean? They go, what is LVRG Ventures? So with my brand LVRG, there's already some confusion created, and confusion sucks, right? Confusion in the marketplace sucks. You don't want to confuse your customers. So there are a lot of people that don't get that though. But it's fine. I can live with that. I can live with, hey, people have to come to my site, get to know me a little bit, know what I'm all about, and then realize as they're reading my story or hearing me talk on a video that LVRG stands for leverage. And there's a reason why I chose leverage to be associated with my site about entrepreneurship and growing a business in today's world. So I'm fine with that. But what I did do recently is I changed, and you guys can all hear, I'll type it in, it's Instagram.com/Mike_Cooch. Okay. Hopefully if you're not following me on Instagram, go over there and follow me there. That is my new business. Again, I changed the name of the Get Leverage account to Mike_Cooch. Okay. So I did that, Vanessa, because I recently, like I said, just had that. It's so funny because a handful of years ago, when I bought the leverage domain, I was actually in the exact opposite camp. I have always considered myself a business builder and not a personal brand. And so when I started building this site for entrepreneurs, I was like, I don't want it to be the Mike Cooch show. I want it to be a real business and a real brand, and I will develop that over time into a real brand, right? I keep saying that, a real brand, as if your personal brand isn't. But what I have realized is that is, in today's world, I think, a mistake if you are comfortable building your personal brand. Okay, which that's something, honestly, that I had to get a little bit comfortable with. As much as you guys may think, because I do a bazillion live streams and videos and all that type of stuff, it actually, there's that degree of kind of discomfort for me on building something that's a personal brand, like attention on mic, like that's actually not my nature. And so I had to get comfortable with, okay, Mike, are you going to do that and commit to doing that? And I decided that I believe in it so much from an entrepreneurial opportunity perspective that it's the right strategy, that I'm like, okay, I'm jumping in, I'm going for it. So I still have my Instagram personal account, which I will do my best to keep that more and more personal over time, that it's actual, friends of mine or people that I interact with type of thing. I don't know that I'll make it private. I don't know. And then my Mike Cooch brand will be my business site. Okay. And I'm doing that, and I will probably be changing the name of the YouTube account as well. And again, it will be Mike Cooch, but then you'll see the Leverage brand, Services That Scale brand, their San Diego brand, whatever else I'm working on will be there. But the name of the account will be focused on Mike Cooch. And so if one day I'm not working on Services That Scale anymore, that drops off, but the Mike Cooch brand is still being built and getting that attention. Okay. So to answer your question then, Vanessa, more directly, if you are comfortable building a personal brand and you're saying, hey, I'm okay with consistently putting myself out there, then I highly recommend that you do that. Okay. Now, I want to be clear. That is not to say that you shouldn't build an agency or niche account as well. So as an example, I would be building my Mike Cooch brand and my There San Diego brand at the same time. I would be building both of those accounts at the same time, because those are definitely two different things. And I do not want There San Diego to be about Mike Cooch. I want that to be about San Diego. Okay. So understanding the difference between those two different situations is important. So it's not to say that it shouldn't be one or the other. It should be both. It should be and. Okay. It should not be or. So if you had the resources to build both, I would build both. Okay. So you start with your, whatever it is that is your business thing that you're going to build, create an account for that and be building it. Okay. But then also build your personal account as well. And drive as much attention and growth to that. And you'll be cross-referencing between the two, right? So in your personal Instagram, working hard on building whatever it is that you're building, and you're linking off to that account so that people who are connecting with you on a more personal level can see, oh, this is the project that Vanessa is working on. This is the business that Vanessa is working on. So it's ideal to me that you would be doing both. Okay. But if you're not somebody who's comfortable building your personal brand and you're like, hey, I'm not gonna stick with that, then just keep that your personal thing and enjoy that, and post to that naturally however you would want to, and then focus on your business account and your business brand. Okay. I hope that helps. I know, I'm just giving you kind of the framework to think it through. Ultimately, obviously it's the thing that you've got to decide on, that's a good fit for you. And it's a strategy that you're going to be willing to really follow through on it, let's see here. Kyle, thank you for joining me. Are you ready to come on? Awesome. My man, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Great. Kyle was on an office hours call here relatively recently for the first time. And then I saw him at Traffic and Conversion Summit, which was very cool. Walking through the crowd, and he turns around. I'm like, I recognize that face. And then he was very kind to then take me out for some coffee and a little bit of breakfast here in San Diego before he went home. And is working on local media, which is near and dear to my heart, which I love. And so let us know what you're up to. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's great to be here. So yeah, my big takeaway from our conversation was gotta start a local media company, right? Something that really, focuses on the city here. The food, drink, things to see and do. I've built a like a magazine site, and just working on the brand. I gotta say, I think what I'm looking for here is I think I have some mindset hurdles. So there's like a real dichotomy going on in my noggin. On the one hand, it's like the opportunity makes perfect sense, and then on the other hand, I feel like I'm feeding my entrepreneurial ADD at the same time, and I've been sort of just I always fight that, right? Like this incessant need to like start new things or stuff, and I've just been kind of feeding that into my existing business, which has been working out. So I guess it just like feels like a quite a big thing, right? To start a local media company. There are a lot of moving parts, and I just have this niggling thing that's like, well, I'm just starting another business, and so I guess I'm looking. I don't know what I'm looking for exactly, but yeah, I mean.
Okay. No,
yeah.
I hear you. I think what it sounds like in your mind is you're trying to determine, is this like a distraction, or is this something that's like really strategic that I can follow through with?
Yeah.
And I think that's an incredibly important question for anybody to answer on any, initiative. And you're right. What you're talking about doing is a pretty sizable thing. It's not like I'm just adding a weekly newsletter to my business. I mean, you're building up a media property. So just to give a little bit of background for the rest of the people here that are tuning in, Kyle has a really cool entrepreneurial background already, where he has a bartending training company that sounds like it's quite successful, and does bartending services for events and all that type of stuff in his market, and is already I would say, media savvy in terms of understanding the importance of content and creating content and stuff like that. And so when we had our conversation, he's working with restaurants, providing services, marketing services to restaurants. And so the conversation evolved to, well, hey, what's the best way to make yourself the presence for those customers in your market and really separate yourself from the competition, have easier foot in the door services, easier service delivery, all that type of stuff. So the media site, of course, if you're talking to me, the media site is going to be an obvious, strategic solution to where you are at. So that's how we ended up there. So in terms of then building this thing and whether or not it's the right fit for you, I think strategically it's a perfect fit for you. So execution wise, I think to get your hands around it, one thing that may help is if you just simply do not think of it as a separate business. You just think of it as, this is the most powerful marketing tool I can do to build my exposure, build my brand, and to offer my services. Because the reality is you need to do some marketing and sales investment to grow your business. And so you are going to be investing in something. And in today's world, if you're not telling me that you're investing in content, then I'm going to say, well, what are you doing? So let's assume you're investing in content. So you're either investing in content that you're just putting out as an ad. Here's an ad for a cool video advertising our services. You're going to be directly marketing your agency. You're doing your newsletter for your agency, things like that. you're doing case studies for the businesses that you're working with. Those are all well and good, but they're advertisements, really, and they tend to have kind of a shorter shelf life and value to your business, because there's only so much that the customers out there want to look at your advertisements, just straight advertisements for your products and services, versus if you took that same energy and same investment and you put it into creating a brand that has more of this media presence in your market that is working to just constantly attract and grow an audience, because it's not advertisement. It's the content that these people want to see. They want to hear about the cool restaurants and the cool bars and all that type of stuff. So if you just think of it as, this is just the smartest marketing I could do, the smartest use of my marketing budget, hopefully that helps maybe get you past the hurdle of, hey, I'm just building a whole new business and this is a distraction. I would say, Kyle, I mean, you're early into it. And so operationally right now, it's natural. It's going to feel like a heavy lift. I can tell you that over time, and certainly you and I can have more conversations about this, but over time, it can be very, very efficient. I mean, producing all of the content for their San Diego, doing the marketing of it is a very lean operation. I mean, it's got a pretty, it looks pretty substantial, but the effort that goes into it, the financial investment required to make it work, all that type of stuff is actually very, very lean and mean. So I think that once you just get past some of those initial hurdles, you'll realize that, you'll figure out how to streamline it, and it will make, I think, then just obvious sense to you as to why you're doing it and the value that it's bringing to you.
Yeah, totally. And that's a real sense I get from you, is that it is very fairly low impact for you.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be sort of the next kind of follow up, is like, what do the inner workings of your operation look like? And we don't have to get into that right now necessarily, but yeah, I think that just looking at it as though it's not a new business, it is simply a marketing channel.
Yep. It's a marketing channel, and this is the reason why content in general, but this kind of content, is that content has a shelf life. It's an asset. If you make 100 cold calls today, at the end of that day, the cold calls don't exist. You put in all that money and all that effort and all that time into doing 100 cold calls. Those cold calls don't exist. They're gone. And if you do 100 cold calls today, I bet you if you're lucky, you'll talk to 3 people where you'll actually have like any sort of conversation. You may reach somebody and have them go, oh yeah, not interested. That doesn't count. I'm talking about an actual conversation. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you took that same time and created a video and put it out there, it's got a shelf life. It's got, there's a there, right? Yeah. And that video will be seen by much more than 3 people and heard by much more than 3 people, right? Mm-hmm. So there's almost no way to argue against content. But then if you said, hey, that content that I just created was an ad, it was a video ad. Okay, well, it's gonna have a shorter shelf life, because people, they just don't want to see the ad over and over again, right? Versus if you created a really cool profile of the most exotic cocktails in your city or whatever, right? And you really know that, and you have a real talent for understanding that and how you could display it and shoot some cool shots for it and stuff like that. That thing will still be getting views, and not just a small amount of views. It'll be getting a lot of views for years to come. Mm-hmm. And on that video, this was produced by such and such media. And then that rabbit, they follow that trail, and it leads, to you and your services. That it's the exponential impact. And so you said it's actually low impact, and the reality is it's low effort. It's very high impact. Yeah. And I know that's what you meant, but I just want to clarify for everybody that content, relatively speaking, is very low effort, very high impact, and that's why we all should be doing it and focused on it. So, and then just to address like on the operational side, because I think it's pretty easy to give you some pretty good insights, and then we can get into more detail at a later time. But to give everybody here insights as to why I say it's a pretty low effort operation. When I started there in San Diego, here's what I did. I can give everybody the blueprint. I have training on this, as people know, but I'll give everybody just the high level blueprint. Is I came up with like a dozen or a little bit more really catchy articles. I kind of looked around at, hey, what are people paying attention to? Do a little bit of keyword research, what's getting traffic, and I used the marketing brain to come up with like a dozen or 15 really catchy articles with catchy headlines and all that stuff. And I created them right out of the gate. Hired some people to create some content for me and stuff like that. It's a dozen articles, 15 articles. That doesn't take that much time, right? And then I put them all up, and then I did paid ads to them, promoted them in San Diego. Overnight, I had so much attention that PR firms were calling me and going, hey, can we buy you lunch? Like, we don't know where the heck you came from, but you're all over the place. Everybody's talking about you. We want to figure out how we can do business together. And I'm just like, okay. So I started going to lunches with these PR firms to learn from them and hear, like, hey, what's going on? What do you guys do here, right? And so at that point, and especially in the market that you're in, Kyle, it's a big enough market that at that point, the PR firms, all the PR firms care about is, how do I get my content on your platform? That's their job. I have to get my clients' content on your platform. And so that means now you've got PR firms that are willing to give you content, because that's their job. That's all they care about. So I put up a tips at their San Diego and said, hey, PR firms, you can start sending us your content, and the content that we think is a good fit, we'll create something and put it on our site. And so now we get a flood of content for free every single day from every PR firm in the city. They're just sending us content constantly. And I have a small team of assemblers, okay? And it's in the Philippines. Somebody's worked for me forever in the Philippines, that I forward the content to her. I just take the emails, forward them to her with a couple little notes. She assembles the content for me. I'm still the editor at this moment. I've had full-time editors at previous times in the past, but I'm the editor right now. And so I'll review the content before it gets, actually not even before it gets published. I trust her enough. She puts together the content, she hits publish, it goes live. And then I will, at some point in the next 48 hours or whatever, go and review that article, probably make some minor edits, but I don't care. It was up for 48 hours with some minor edits. Who cares? So it's up there, it's live. I just want the momentum of the content. I don't want me to be a bottleneck. So it goes live. And then I have a social media manager, okay? And I have freelance writers and influencers here in San Diego that occasionally produce content for me. It's not even like consistent. It's just when I need something, I reach out to them, they'll put something together. Okay, that's it. That's the model. So it's me, one part-time or one full-time content assembler, but it's full-time in the Philippines. So budget-wise, it's very different than in the United States. And one part-time social media manager here in the United States. And that, other than freelancers, is really it. So it's super, super lean and mean.
Awesome. 2 hyper fast follow-ups. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Rapid fire, and then I'm out.
Yep.
Okay. I'm curious what your initial ad spend was, just to like pump those first few articles.
Very, very low. It was like $3 a day per article.
Wow. Okay.
And I I ran them all for like a few months, saw which ones were crushing it and which ones weren't, and then bumped up the budget on the ones that were crushing it. Mm-hmm. But that was just because I was being aggressive. I just wanted to grow as fast as I could. And when I say bumped them up, I don't mean a lot. I mean, I bumped them up to like $10 a day, like 4 of them.
Right.
So I spent like 4, so maybe for a while there, I was spending like $2,000 a month promoting them.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Last one. Which one of these four brands do you like the best? And then I'm just going to go make it. Your Best Victoria, Top Victoria, Peak Victoria, or Devour Victoria?
Because you're gonna be really focused on food and stuff.
I would like it to grow into like just the very best of the city, the best, eventually maybe we have directories about the best plumbers, the best blah, 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 blah. But I really want to, I think that's the unmet need is a publication that's just focused on the very best.
Man, I don't know. I like Top Peak and Victoria. I mean, Top Peak and Devour.
Okay.
So I would just pick between Top and Peak, whichever one you like best. The Peak one resonates with me just because I'm a mountain guy, and so that's why I think. But I would just pick one of those other. Top is probably easier. Peak, you'll actually get people like misspelling and stuff like that. So I'd probably do Top, and I would do Devour too, and make that a food focus thing.
Okay. All right, man. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for coming on the call.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's see here. I've got time for about 10 more minutes here. So if anybody else wants to jump on, go for it. Philip says, I guess I see the challenge with personal brands when you want to build a scalable business. Yeah. So it's a great point, Philip. So what I'm suggesting, I want to be real clear here, is not that you build your business around your personal brand. That is not what I'm saying. So I think if you look at the way, I think Gary Vee and The Rock and guys like that are really good examples of this. Their personal brand has allowed them to launch and drive customers to businesses because of their personal relationship they've developed on their personal brand, right? So The Rock launched a big tequila brand, and it's the fastest growing, booze brand in history. And he could do that because it's from his personal brand. Gary Vee, from his personal brand, has launched shoes, NFTs. He's launched a sports agency. He's launched a wine brand. He's launched a wine distribution brand. He's launched whatever else. And as a fan of Gary Vee, okay, I am a buyer of lots of those things because of the relationship with Gary Vee, because I trust his judgment. I trust what he'll create. And because I hear him talking about wine on his personal, content all the time, when he launches this wine service, I'm like, oh, got it. I'm on it. It makes total sense to me. And I go over there and buy it. Now, only a percentage of his personal audience does that. But his personal audience has gotten so big that it can drive massive amounts of people to those new businesses. So each of those businesses has a social media following and is out there building their own direct social media following. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. You absolutely should. I'm just saying that if you are also willing and able to build your personal brand, that gives you leverage and gives you a focus that people can have their attention on that is different from the brands, that will give you massive opportunity. Thanks, Jim. And the personal brand attention gives you, I think, a very natural opportunity, no matter what your business is, to build a more, remember the arrow formula is audience, relationship, offer. That relationship part is critical. Okay, that relationship part is critical. So the fact that I can use my personal brand, that gives me a more relationship. It's an easier relationship to create if I am putting myself out there, because I'm a human being and I can have calls like this, and it's Mike Cooch and you guys get to know me. If I start a business where having Mike Cooch as the front man isn't the nature of that business or make a lot of sense or whatever, it can be harder for a brand to build an authentic relationship with their customers, right? So social media is naturally about people. I mean, that's just reality. I mean, yes, we connect to businesses on social media, but the reality is social media is about people. And the direction of everything on the internet is more and more about people and personal connection. And so it just gives you a jumping off of, it gives you a focal point for your attention and the ability to then drive that attention to a variety of things based on the relationship that you create. So it's not an either or, and it's not right for everybody. But but if you're willing to and comfortable with it, I think it's a huge advantage. Okay. Why Local Marketing says, how exactly did I get those 15 articles out, referring to their San Diego? I just did promoted posts on Facebook. Just did promoted posts to the San Diego area on Facebook. Cool. Awesome, Sean. Good. Local attention engine. Okay, so somebody's asking, local attention engine and prime the pump strategy are two products of mine that are, affordable products that are how I actually structured the content promotion using the Facebook ad campaigns. Those products will tell you exactly how I did that. Local Media Launch Accelerator is my program where I share the whole business model on local media. Okay. Let's see here. John says, how exactly do you make money with Air San Diego? Advertising, essentially. Advertising, and I say essentially because in today's world, advertising is a little bit different, but a sponsored post on social media to me is advertising, even though they call it influencer marketing or whatever, but it's advertising. So advertising. We sell advertising in our newsletter, social media, website, ad campaigns. Sarah says, hey, Mike, so how do we start when we don't have an online following, short of going out to all the hot places and either becoming an alcoholic or bankrupting myself? That's awesome, Sarah. So the great thing about Instagram in particular is that people want you to share their content, Sarah. So what you do, and I explain this in training, is that you reach out to people in your market that are already producing good content, taking good pictures of your market and just saying, hey, I love that picture that you got of the sunset at the beach the other day at Del Mar Beach. Do you mind if I share that with my account and I'll give you credit? And that is totally normal on Instagram. People want that on Instagram. And so what you will build is a whole bunch of accounts that will just give you permission. Yeah, hey, Sarah, anytime. Yeah, you can always share any of my pictures. If you just give me permission, I appreciate it. Share my stuff anytime you want to. And so you'll develop a whole bunch of local contacts that are happy that you're sharing their content. And then you don't have to take pictures at all. So Sarah, I did exactly what you were talking about at first and almost like ran myself into the ground. I was literally like every day, like I got to go to like these 7 restaurants and these 2 parties and, it was fun. But I was, like literally like running out of batteries real quick. And thankfully realized, okay, there's a better way to do this. So you're just sharing other people's content to get started. Almost, and still to this day, 90% of the content we share on our Instagram feed is not our content. It's just somebody else's content we're sharing. You just look at it. I mean, you look at all the content that's on there and you'll see we're just sharing other people's stuff. So being a curator on Instagram, it's what you're doing is you're curating content from other places, right? And bringing it all into your account is a fantastic model. It makes you a great resource for people in your community. So you're just going to curate. And then the cool thing is those people are going to help you build your account, because what they're going to do is when they see you share and tag them, what they'll do is they'll share your post on their Instagram story and put a little message saying, hey, thank you for sharing my stuff. And now their audience will see your account and a percentage of those people will go and follow you. Okay, so that's how you'll really start to get the growth engine going there. Okay. Yeah, and then the other thing is doing that same thing. So a big part of my strategies on Instagram, if you go through the training, you'll see is that it's sharing on your Instagram stories, right? You can share as much content from as many people as you want without asking permission on your Instagram stories. You don't have to ask permission for that. Okay, that's just part of Instagram. If you're putting your content out there and it's public, there is an understanding that other people can share that on their Instagram story, and that's just, it is what it is. Okay. So when I'm talking about asking for permission, I'm talking about asking for permission if you literally want to, post something as your feed post. So if you look at their San Diego right now and look at this first post from Devil's Donuts, and you go down and you look, we're tagging Devil's Donuts. It was a Devil's Donuts picture. It wasn't our picture. Okay. We didn't take that picture or anything like that. So if you're going to share to your feed, you need to ask for permission and give credit. If you're going to share to your story, Instagram automatically includes the details of the account in that post on your story. So the credit is already there. You can't avoid giving them credit. So that's the way that's built in for sharing in Instagram. Okay, but yeah, you don't have to run around to everything and go to every party. John says, if you're just starting with Instagram, would you outsource follower growth? Would you use software? Absolutely do not use software. Absolutely do not use software. Okay. And the answer that I don't think you want to hear, John, but is the right answer is no, I would not outsource anything to start until you really understand this thing, John. When you really understand Instagram and you understand what matters and you understand the strategies and all that stuff, you personally, then absolutely hire somebody to do it for you. Because now you're managing somebody, but it's your business and you know the business and you understand it. But it does not take long to do this on Instagram at all. This is a 30-minute, 45-minute a day strategy. This is the thing I do when I'm hanging out, having a glass of wine, watching whatever at the end of the day. I'm on Instagram, firing off and scheduling some posts and stuff. So, again, John, Instagram is a community. So, communities don't want robots following them. They want people following them. They don't want robots responding to comments. They want people responding to comments. So you should be in there building your community. And then, like I said, once you have a strategy really nailed down, you can hire somebody to help you. And that doesn't have to take long. Do this for 30 days, John, and you'll understand it. You'll have a very clear understanding of it. It's not very sophisticated at all. And then hire somebody to help you. Sarah says, at first, am I sharing it personally or professionally? Sarah, I would create a branded Instagram account. So I don't know exactly what you're focusing on, Sarah. But if you're doing a local media business like I'm doing, create that Instagram account. If this is if you're building an agency and you're going to have an agency account, then I would also be building your personal account and sharing the content on your personal account as well. Just because most people are not really going to tune in or pay attention to an agency account. It's just people aren't that interested in an agency. Again, this is social media. They're interested in people. So if you are building this for your agency without doing the full media play like I am there, San Diego, I would have your Instagram profile, Sarah Walsh, CEO of such and such agency. We help restaurants, grow in San Diego, and then be posting a mix of good stuff in your personal profile that is related to restaurants and related to the work you're doing, all that stuff. But then also linking off to your agency so that people can easily see, hey, what is she all about? Oh, she's about this agency, and go check out your services as well. Okay. John says, one more thing. Do you use software for giveaways? I use UpViral if I'm doing opt-in giveaways. So email opt-in giveaways. On Instagram, I don't use any software. No, we just manually manage the thing. It's super easy. We just do just simple, tag and follow campaigns, John. So tag a friend that you want to bring to dinner, with this restaurant giveaway we're doing, tag the friends that you want to bring to dinner. Make sure that they are following our account and following the restaurant's account. And then we'll pick a winner on such and such date. And on such and such date, we just go through and we randomly pick a winner. And literally when I say randomly, John, this is what I do. I record a video where I go to the post, I go to all the comments on the post. So everybody who's entered, they enter by doing a comment on the post, right? And I go through and I literally do a video where I scroll through the comments, and there'll be like hundreds of them. And I just go like this, boop, our winner is, and that's it. I mean, literally, it's like that just goofy and fun, but it's goofy and fun. I mean, it's being social on social media. I'll post that video up on our Instagram account and just have some fun with it. Now, there are pieces of software that will manage all of that for you and make it like some statistically, perfect way of picking the winner and all that. You can do all that too. I just don't. Okay. We Local says, do you feel that tag and follow and sign up for SMS is too much? Yes. Yeah. I would just do one or the other, either a tag and follow or a sign up for SMS, one or the other. Hey, Jimmy, how you doing, my man? Thank you for joining us. All right, gang, one more quick question. Is there one more quick question and then I have to run? If there's one more quick one, go ahead and type it in there and I will do my best. Otherwise, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I had a good time. I hope you guys had a good time. Happy Friday. I hope you have some fun weekend plans. I've got VIP tickets to a wine festival here in town this weekend. And that's a perk of their San Diego. So I'm super excited. I'm going to go and do that. Jimmy says, I have a question on tagging influencers and stories. Yeah, go for it, Jimmy. Do you want to come on and talk or you just want to type it in real quick? Either way is fine. Jimmy says, do I have to give them credit on a story that a restaurant tag them and I repost the story? No. I have to give them credit on a story that a restaurant tagged them and I repost the story. Nope. Credit, anytime you're posting to a story, Jimmy, all the credit is already built in there. It's already built in. When you share anything, right, to the story, it's going to be wrapped in the account that story came from. And so if somebody were to see you share that and then they go to that story for that account, they'll see that account tag that influencer. But it's not your responsibility to like re-tag whoever they tagged or anything like that. You're all good, man. Now, you may want to strategically re-tag them, Jimmy, right? Because now you're gonna get that more direct connection to that influencer. So if that's an influencer that maybe you want to work with, maybe you want them to create content for you, that type of thing, you may want to strategically tag them to bring them in the loop, right? And that's the cool thing on Instagram. Everybody needs to understand. You tag different accounts, it's going to show up in their inbox that you tag them. And so they're going to say, hey, who is that tagging me and sharing content about me? It's going to create that relationship very easily. That's why it's like the best local networking app in the world. Okay. Awesome. I got to run. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being at office hours here. I think it went well on YouTube, so we may stick with this. We'll see here. You guys are perfectly willing to share some feedback with me, I'm sure. Go ahead and do that, and we'll see where we go. But we'll see you on another office hours here every other Friday. And all the replays are here on the YouTube channel. So thank you so much for tuning in, being a part of the community. And we will see you on a future call. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll talk real soon. Bye-bye.